Mom. Dad. Juliet. Newey. Yeah, we
Wow,
finally
that was a
did it.
good one.
That was a great one. Yeah, we did it. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Episode 51. We're still going. Let's go.
Can you say 51 in German?
Spieken, schneiden, du Waffen.
I didn't think that was right.
Yes.
But I can't say it either. So.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, okay, no, I don't know it either. We're at week 8 now, I believe, in a row, which is huge.
Week
huge.
8?
Is this week 8?
Or is it week 9?
No, this is week 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is week 8. So, yeah, with this coming up as our 50th episode, we're excited to announce we actually do have some unofficial sponsors, so you'll hopefully be hearing through about that later in the show. I don't want to spoil anything. We'll get to that later. I have a lot to talk about today. This week. Yeah, this week has been a bombshell week. Nothing like crazy happened, but I'm just in my brain. There's been a lot of
There's been a lot of stuff going on.
Okay, so I want to start off on a positive note here. I'm trying to be just in general more positive. I feel like I've kind of just been always like lately leaning on the negative side of life, and I've noticed it. So I'm trying to just in general find the positive, because I think that that's really like the key to everything, is trying to be positive.
100% agree with you.
So okay, well, I had this client in, and one thing I always have time for people that are having a bad day, a bad week, a bad month. I get it. It happens, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's not a thing about people complaining. It's the how much you complain, what you complain about, and kind of the direction of the complaint. Like there's just some people that are like, it's raining, oh my god, it's raining, it's so miserable outside.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it's dry, oh my god, it's dry outside, it's so dry, and you're just like, okay, you're all. So anyhow, my client was just complaining so much. To the point, and they were complaining about how awful everyone is. Like, just people in general suck and blah, blah, blah. And I was just, like, not really listening, Zoe. I was just complaining. And I was just thinking, so human nature naturally is to hold on to negative. So, for example, if I say, Neve, you suck, you can remember that. So you're already upset. No, like, so you can... that will stick with you longer than if I'm like, Neve, you rock. It's like 3 weeks of you suck versus 1 hour of you rock, like where it sticks with you. And so I find I'm like, what I'm thinking is, this person's doing this, and I'm like, this is what it is there's so many like people that are either good and positive in the world around you, or just net neutral. So they don't do negative to you. They're just not bad, but everyone seems to be pulling onto the side of, they remember the shitty thing that happened and they hold on to that. So my challenge to everyone is try and like find the good people in the day. So when something bad happens, instantly like be like, hey, where's someone good? Because you will find it sooner than later, right? So yeah, that was just an interesting thought I had about
that was pretty profound. That was like, I like that a lot. I fully believe that, positivity reaps positivity.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think just if you kind of try and take a brighter outlook on things, even though it's not like easy, like there are times for like being negative,
of course,
but you just can't take that through on your daily life with you.
Yeah,
because like you're just killing yourself.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're the only one thinking those thoughts. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's become like, I think that whatever going on in the world right now, or our little pocket of the world, it just seems everyone's so like negative,
super
and down.
negative.
Everyone everywhere. And on a degree, I get it. Like times are hard and all that. Like it really is. It's not like the easiest of times, but it's just like I feel like in those times, that's when you have to the most like strive to find the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because it is like everything we do in life is kind of like a compound of what we think and do. So like if everyone constantly around you is down negative, as much as they're bringing you down, you start going into it, you make it more, and it's just this like spiraling pit, and that just gets worse and worse. So yeah, I just wanted to start off by saying that like I think there's there's overall way more good positive people, and then even more net neutral than there's annoying bad.
Yeah.
It's just we naturally as an instinct hold on to and remember the negative for longer.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone about it. They said they thought it might be a human instinct because it's to protect yourself. You always have to be like on edge and wary of everything and like, oh shoot, that bad thing, as opposed to being like, oh sweet, we got bananas. It's watch out for the snake. So that's just how I wanted to start the show.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good start.
Yeah, it was. You're feeling better. You're looking better.
I'm feeling so much better.
Yeah.
Like, just ridiculous amounts.
Yeah, you were definitely faded the last 2 days there, 3 days, hey?
Oh, honestly, the past, like, 2 or 3 days have just kind of been, like, a blur. Like, I'm just on autopilot at that mode.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so exhausted. Like, the level of exhaustion I can't even describe, but you still like have to like get up and do stuff, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was okay. Just for people that don't know, Neve was just waiting on her infusion, and so she always gets rocked for a few days before. I was impressed though with how much you went to the gym and did stuff in the build like that last week.
Yeah.
Like you actually went 2 or 3 times for quite a while.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like I've been on this medication for long enough that I know, those last few days kind of really suck, but you just gotta kind of push through it at this point. Like, it's not gonna stop sucking. So you just kind of like, you get through it. And I actually felt like pretty good after my workouts, just because I'd gone and worked out. And, like, even that's just, like, a massive thing in those last 3 days. Because I just...
You're so tired.
Well, the last day before my infusion, I slept for 15 hours.
Yeah, I know. You, like, got up and I was like, are you okay? You've been asleep 12 hours. And you're like, I'm still tired.
Yeah. I was like, I'm so tired right now. And then I took a 3-hour nap when the baby napped.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it a little easier when you're exhausted when you have a cute little baby, to be fair.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like... I think it would have been a struggle without her, because it's like you have to, like, you can't just be exhausted, like you don't because you have like another little human to look after, and I think that's like a good motivator. I mean, I'm honestly just so tired now. Like, I'm so tired. I think that's part of parenthood.
Yeah, it is. It's fine. So I'm not like complaining. I just am like you just get over it, because I've had soccer Sunday night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, you've been
so listen to the times for all this. Soccer 8 o'clock Sunday night.
Yeah.
And then Monday, wake up and work, go to soccer 8:45 till like 10, just after 10.
Yeah.
Come home. Oh, and I'm walking Nuo every day too.
Yes, you are. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, of course. I got to. And then Tuesday, wake up, walk the dog. What did I do Tuesday? Was I with the baby?
Tuesday you had soccer as well.
No, but I'm talking before work.
Yeah, you were with the baby.
Yeah, I was with the baby, and then I went to work and then straight to soccer. And that was when there was that air bomb, whatever the hell that was, and we were playing soccer in it.
What?
The windstorm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm sure I've played in some pretty crazy conditions before, so I'm not gonna say it's the harshest ever, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Like, literally,
just getting slapped in the face.
Literally, it was raining sideways in sheets, and the floodlights, you can always see the like sheets of rain blowing around, and there was 3 or 4 times where the lights, they didn't flicker like pitch black, but they just dimmed so low because of the wind, and you could hear all the trees in the background like smacking each other. So that was Tuesday. Then Wednesday I had a 10 o'clock game, and then today I worked a 12-hour day.
Yeah.
So I am so excited to
be done.
And then the main reason I was telling all that. So this morning, Neve, Juliet, for the most part, like, runs and gets, or what is it? She gets up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. You go grab her and just she comes in her bed.
Yeah. I just like put her back to sleep with a bottle. Actually, it's normally earlier than that. It's normally like 3:30. That's
But what
the time
was she up today?
So this morning she did her usual wake up. She did it a bit earlier, like around 2. But then at 5, I heard her cry and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna give her a bottle and bring her into our bed. And she was like, no. She was like, I am awake right now. And I go in and I just like, because normally I just like lie down next to her and stroke her back.
Yeah.
And that can generally send her back off to sleep. But she just sits up as soon as I come into the room. I lie down next to her. She just goes, hi. And I'm like, oh, hi. You're up. Hi. And then she just keeps booping my nose, which is super cute. But it's also 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go back to sleep.
When she came into the bedroom, she just kept, I was like so tired. And I was like, I have 45 minutes till I have to get up. Mm-hmm. And so we were like refused to get up. And I was trying to like get to sleep and that like put her to sleep. So I turned my back and she just kept kicking me in the back. And I was like, I'm just going to lie with my eyes closed and get kicked in the back for that 45 minutes. Yeah.
That's how it ends up being though when you're that tired.
It's okay. It's cute. It really is.
It's super cute.
In the weirdest way. Okay, this is something that I thought was so crazy. Okay. So I'm listening to this guy, and he's a Greek and Roman historian, mm-hmm. and he's just started this like podcast that's just all about Greece and Rome. Yeah. And it's been good, but so here's to give you an idea of how much better we live life today than mm-hmm. they did back in those days. So these houses we're in right now are too big. They're way too big. Yeah. But like picture your parents' home. So your mm-hmm. parents is what, a 2-bed, 2-bath place?
4-bed, 3-bath.
Okay, but it's pretty small, is it not?
Yeah, it's just on a little estate in England.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know, I don't want to say their house is small, but it's not like a big house like here where everything's just kind of...
It's nice and cozy.
Yeah, it's a nice little cozy house. Yeah. And that, by the standard of Rome, emperors wouldn't even have lived in houses that big. Think about how crazy that is. So like all these houses here in Vancouver are all like way bigger than what an emperor would live in.
I really don't love the idea of big houses anyway.
Yeah, I mean that fair, but like the thing that it was interesting was, so the way Rome worked was they basically show up, mm-hmm. kill a whole bunch of people, like do all their things to conquer the land, mm-hmm. and then they'd be like, bow to us and say that we are your like you hail Caesar and pay your taxes, and we don't care what you do. Like you can worship your gods and everything, but as long as you're paying your taxes, okay? And then they just like take some food, mm-hmm. put some stamps that say they're Roman, take some people that are like warriors, and then just keep moving on. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I always just had this idea of like if you were an emperor. Yeah. You lived in like you had like 50 slaves, like palm trees, like waving you as they feed you grapes, and you like had this like kingdom. Yeah. But like in reality, most emperors were like, they were like a small village they were like ruling over, right? Oh. So yeah, so it's like even where we live right now, this 2-bedroom basement suite, this is way bigger than what an emperor would have lived in back in Roman times. Minus like the greatest emperor, like Caesars and stuff, because you have to remember, like I don't know, I just thought it was so crazy, because to me an emperor meant right away you had like lavish life, and then it's like, oh yeah, they actually just lived in the biggest hut.
Yeah, that's so crazy to think about, because I mean it's understandable because Italy is huge as well, or not like huge, but like it's a big enough place that you would have all of these like tiny municipalities like within the Roman Empire. I just didn't know that those were emperors.
Yeah, well, one second. Well,
like the kind of like head of house, like Game of Thrones style.
But the Roman Empire was huge. It was like all of Europe, right? Like it was mega. So that's what it was. It's don't think of like where modern day Italy is. Think of like the expanded empire. They would just roll up somewhere, be like, boom, we own this place now, and then they keep rolling on, and it might be some like small little place, and then they're like, you're the emperor of this place, but that doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. That's not something I'd ever really thought of.
Yeah, sorry everyone, I was pouring mimosas. Nothing better than podcast mimosas, let's be real here. Actually, you know what, Neve?
What?
Since we're just 15 minutes into the 51st episode, I think it's time that we take a break and hear a word from our sponsors.
Okay, should we do one now and one later?
Absolutely, that's how sponsorship things work. Restore-Lax, for when those poos won't get loose. Do you find your body contracting in pain every time you need to do a number twos? Maybe it was the 4 liters of milk you consumed, or the 2 double filet fish meals. Who cares? Fix it with Restore-Lax. Awesome. Thank you, Restore-Lax. We love you.
We appreciate the sponsor.
We love you guys. Thank you for all you do for those poos.
For the booze.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting that we have those unofficial sponsors. That's crazy.
Yeah, emphasis on the unofficial.
It really just feels so much like, I can't believe it. I didn't ever think we'd get to this point where we'd have unofficial sponsors.
It means we're not getting paid anyway.
As of right now, the podcast is a net negative $300 because we invested a lot of money in stocks that were not real. We were like, no, it'll be good for the company, and it was a scam.
It'll be great for our podcast.
We invested in some Bitcoin, but it wasn't Bitcoin.
I actually sent money to a Nigerian prince. He was like, send me 5 million Canadian dollars and I will promote your podcast.
Where did you get 5 million Canadian dollars?
Just something I had lying around.
You know, we could have used that for the podcast. We could have really used 5 million for the podcast. Okay, so have you heard of the Sky King?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to encourage everyone to go look this up because I can't believe this is real. Mm-hmm. It must have been something that, it might have been viral since we've got off social media. Yeah. But so there's this guy, and he steals a jet airliner plane.
What?
And takes it off. And they have all this video of him actually like flying around, and he's on the thing, and they're like, sir, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm flying the plane around, and he's like, I'm gonna try and do this, and you see this huge like jetliner being like, they're like doing all this stuff, and they're like, sir, how do you plan to land the plane? And he's like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna land the plane. I just plan to do some cool tricks and see what goes from there. And then he's like, I'm gonna try to spin. It's just like, you see the plane like twisting and doing all this crazy stuff, and then eventually, sadly, crashes the plane and dies.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of his plan. Yeah. But yeah, check him out. He's called the Sky King. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny to see and then hear.
How the fuck does he steal?
I don't know. There must be a story behind it, but I just watched the video, and it's so funny because they're just like, sir, this is like, you're not allowed to be doing this. And he's like, I'm going to try and do a loop-de-loop.
That's crazy. That's so wild.
Yeah.
Like, how was this in the US?
I'm assuming so, yeah.
That's crazy. How is he like getting on a jetliner? Okay, well, he must work at the airport or something. Yeah, right.
I'd assume so. Yeah. Because like, even to take off a plane, like, I highly doubt you just show up, get on a plane, and take it off. You have to have like pretty high level of know-how to like do it. But yeah, I do sometimes wonder though. I think it might be easier than you think. I'm not saying it's easy, but you think it's impossible. But it's probably, if you actually like really truly set your mind to something like that, because it's more like they just don't assume.
You'd have to put a lot of time into it, I feel.
Yeah, and like I just think that, like, for example, like I think as much as they have like planes under like surveillance and stuff, and there's people watching, I don't think they're like on high alert for people trying to steal planes and take them off of airports, right? Like,
fair. That's a hell of a way to go out, though. Like, you know, if you were ready and you wanted to go, like, that's the way to do it.
Well, and you could just hear the way the guy's talking. It's like he's just like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna land it." And the guy's like, "Well, we can get someone on the line to help you land." He's like, "No, I'd rather just try and do a banked barrel roll." And you're just like, and then you see the thing go like,
that's crazy.
So crazy. Yeah. I thought that was...
Is that real?
Yeah, I think
Like
I'm pretty damn sure it's called...
totally.
What did it call? Sky King or something like that?
That's
Yeah.
so nuts. The things you miss when you come off of social media. the one like downside.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that's the problem, is that that's not actually a downside.
Yes,
Like,
that's true.
did we really miss out
Yeah.
on anything there?
No, not really.
Yeah, how is your not having social media going for you?
Yeah, it's still going good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm staying strong.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit so now if I open my phone I go on LinkedIn, which is just like
Gotta do something.
the worst
on your phone.
the worst social media, because like it's not interesting. It's all just like business shit, right? So it's like, yeah, like you can see what other people are doing, but it's so fake, like fake positive, and I'm just like, I can't be fucked for this bullshit.
Yeah, I know. I thought of it the other day. Funny you say that. I was like, should I make a LinkedIn? And then
There's
I was
literally
like,
no
why?
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what would it do for me? It just,
No.
I also just, yeah, I don't know. I just don't really like. I'm honestly just so addicted to my phone, even though there's literally nothing on my
Yeah.
phone. Like I hate it. I actually hate how much I'm on my phone, and the whole time, like you've seen, I actually don't have like I have messaging people.
Yeah.
But that's it. And even half the time, like I'll admit, I do message people a lot,
Yeah.
but like even within that, there's a lot of time I'm just on it and there's no one to message or anything. I'm just like, God damn it, why am I on my phone?
Yeah.
And I just keep looking at it. I'm like, this is so stupid. I'm staring at my
Yeah.
phone and there's nothing to do on it.
Mine's the worst because like I'm like always doing something on my phone, but then as soon as a message pops up, I'm like, I'll get to it later, and then later
See,
never
like that
comes.
doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't,
It doesn't
at
even
all.
make sense. I know.
I know.
Yeah, I had one of my clients come in and they have a whole bunch of kids and they work for the school districts and all this stuff. And we were just talking. I was explaining to them about like Juliet and reading, blah, blah, all this stuff. And how I was talking about my addiction to phone, how I'm trying to stop and everything.
Yeah.
And this dude was like, dude, yeah, like the phones are just ruining kids. They're just ruining kids. Like,
Yeah.
like the thing that people that are listening to us, like our age group and a bit younger, older, like that are like adults still, because like we think we understand how social media works.
Yeah.
And like I think everyone's kind of under this ruse to themselves of like, yeah, like I know I'm a bit manipulated by social media and the things I see,
Yeah.
and like all the media, not just social media, like TV, just all that stuff. But I understand it's fake, but I don't think we do. I think we all think we do, and to a degree
Yeah.
do, but not to the actual full degree.
No, you still like take the impact of stuff you see online into your life.
And we came from pre that,
Yeah.
grew up seeing what it was, and now we're here. So what do you do if you're a little kid that literally just grew up with all this here?
Yeah.
You don't have any perspective of like not
What
I'm
it
not
was
even,
like before.
Yeah, even though we don't really like, we don't truly have a perspective of what it was like before. We can remember like, oh, I used to play kick the can, but like we were like 6 years old.
Yeah.
It's not like, or you were, I guess, unborn.
I wasn't born when you were 6 years old.
You were 2 years before a fetus or something
Fetus.
like that.
I was a mere egg. No, but I get what you mean, and like I think we're just living in this digital age, right? So we grew up without even, the basic necessities to do this. Me, like, granted, I think I was like 13 when the first iPhone came out, that kind of thing. I remember it coming out, but up until then I'd had a childhood of that time.
Right.
But yeah, it's really weird to think that we're gonna be the people that, when you're like granny's like trying to use her smartphone and we're like, this is so fucking simple, why can't this bitch get this?
Yeah, that's gonna be us for sure.
That's gonna be us. And like Juliet's gonna be like, oh, you just do this and zip zap and plug your brain in and whatever.
Well, that's what I'm actually so thankful for her, is she will be that connect for us to show us.
Yeah.
Okay, so then this actually is a question that I've had for a while, and I just haven't been able to find a place to pop it in, and now's the time.
Yeah.
Do you think everyone's brainwashed right now? And when I say brainwashed, I don't mean it like an evil cabal that's like, let's make them all think this way.
Yeah.
I mean like no one knows what's going on because everyone's seeing so much stuff and you can't differentiate what's real and what's not real. Like everyone you talk to, no matter what they believe, is so confident in what they believe to be true. And every single person. And so I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I swear we're all brainwashed, but like not in the sense of like one overarching control thing. It's just like there's so much stuff that everyone's just kind of like,
yeah, it's like information overload.
Yeah.
Right? It's exactly what it is. I think it really takes the focus off of people, like, as an individual as well. You know what I mean? In terms of, like, if you are part of something, always.
Absolutely.
Like, you are part of a group, or you are part of a movement, or you are part of a fan club. You are part of something, always. Like,
Absolutely.
You're always connected. And I don't know, I just feel like you run the risk of your whole life just like not being in front of you. And I think that's what really scares me, is that like this idea of you're not living with what's in front of you, you're just living online. And like that's your whole thing. You wake up, you're online, you can even work online, you know, like that becomes your whole life.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just afraid of. I'm actually afraid of my phone. Like I'm sick and tired of it, but I'm still trying to get off it. I'm not the best at, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to something a little more juicy. Oh, I have something super cute that happened this week.
Okay, hit me.
Okay, so this is our little baby Juliet. So I'm sure people have heard this ad nauseum, but I'm going to repeat it. I've been reading a whole bunch. And the whole reason I started reading so much was because I didn't like how people would always say to their kids, like, get off your phones, don't look at screens, and they'd just be on their phone the whole time. And so I was like, okay, I got to set a good example, so I started reading, right? Yeah. So it was like, I can't remember what day it was, a couple days ago. I want to say it was like Sunday, and it was just family day, and we were sitting on the couch, and Juliet was watching Miss Rachel, which she's like obsessed, addicted to. Well, not addicted to, I mean, that's wrong, but she like zones in on it so hard. And I was just reading my book, and Juliet looked over at me, got up from Miss Rachel, ran over, grabbed her little book, and then ran up, got beside me and started reading. But
That's so cute.
So I was so proud because I was like, hey, it's working.
Yeah.
And then also it was cute because she was reading her book upside down.
She loves her books, to
She
be
does,
fair.
yeah.
She really does, but she doesn't know how to read them yet.
She doesn't, she's also like, she hasn't grasped the idea that a book's to read, not rip apart.
Yes.
So she has a few books that are not intact.
I think she gets overexcited, especially if they're like pull out ones.
Yeah.
And she pulls it out so much that it just kind of.
Yeah, I mean, the one Zach and Danielle got her a unicorn book.
The unicorn one, yeah.
And I wish that we had recorded that, because Zach and Danielle, if you're listening, she like was so happy.
Oh my God, she was so
She was like
stoked.
screaming and so happy. And it's a nice book, so I want to keep it, but it's really, she's not got the attention span to listen to it yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like so worried because she keeps wanting to look at it, but she also is like mucking it up. I'm like, come on, like let me read it to you once at least.
She just gets so overexcited. But that reminds me, I need to text Danielle back. So thanks for reminding me about that.
Oh yeah, I thank Zach.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever heard someone say, you're like, hey, how's it going? And they go, I'm not too shabby.
Yes.
So first off, what does that mean? I know what it means, but like, what does it mean to be not too shabby?
Like you're a little bit shabby.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Because the reason I say that, so I walk into work on Monday. I'm like, Peter, what's going on? How are things going? And he goes, hey, I'm not too shabby. He's like, how are you doing? I went, I'm shabby. And then I started laughing because I was like, what is shabby? And then I was like, wait, what's not being shabby? And then it makes you think. And then all of a sudden you're like, because that's such a common thing to
It's
say.
a super common
And then I
phrase.
even was typing it out. I was like, shabby, SHABBY. Like, what is shabby?
Shabby is kind of like disgruntled. No, like a shabby dude is someone that's not like clean cut. They look like they probably haven't shaved in a minute. Maybe maybe like a little bit tousled, like a little bit out of sorts, you know?
Shabby. So would you say I am more shabby or not?
No, like
shabby?
hobos are shabby.
Oh, so you gotta be poor.
No,
Can you be
just
rich and shabby?
just shabby.
Shabby, like, can you
I
like?
mean, you can be like, think of like a tortured writer that can't finish his book and hasn't slept in 3 weeks. That he would be shabby.
What
know what I
about a
mean?
guy that's been on a bender drinking and his shirt's untucked? Is that shabby?
How long has he been drinking for? We need to set parameters
Like
here.
he's been drinking all night and he woke up late for work and he's like, oh man, there's a stain on my
Yeah,
shirt.
he's probably pretty shabby.
And what about if you shave every morning and shower?
Not shabby.
Interesting.
Interesting.
You could say not too shabby.
The plot thickens.
Okay, well, yeah, so that's that. That's all I had to say.
Oh, that was good. I like that one.
It's even just, I just wanted everyone to take a minute still to just think of the word shabby. It's just a weird word.
I feel like as well there's just so many random ass phrases that we have no context to at all and still say.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. That's
Especially like our generation, stuff just gets passed down and you don't even really know what it means.
like,
But
yeah.
you
like,
still say it.
You still say it. And I think too, it's like from our parents probably heard things their parents said. And then from like basically our grandparents to our generation, everything's changed so much.
Yeah.
That like things
so
they say,
true.
you're like, what the
Like
fuck?
slang and stuff as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. Do you have a favorite like old time slang that you like to say?
If I could quote my grandpa,
Yeah.
the Japs. No, I'm just kidding.
That's so something your grandpa actually says too.
Yeah, he's just so everyone knows.
Oh, he's
lost
so
it,
old.
sadly.
Yeah.
But even before he kind of lost his mind a bit, he still says stuff like
Yeah.
that. It was the classic different times.
Oh, such different times. Yeah.
Classic old timey sayings.
Doesn't have to be like super old timey. Just like something that's not of your generation that you like to say.
Do you have any?
Yeah, I have one in particular that I can think of.
Yeah.
I love saying groovy. Like everything's groovy.
Yeah.
Oh, I also alternate it with gravy.
Oh,
Groovy and gravy. They mean the same thing, but
Yeah.
two completely different generations of slang.
Okay, I have tubular. I say a lot.
You do actually. You
No,
know,
I don't. I never say tubular.
I've heard you say tubular
never
more
say
times than anyone else I've heard say
Okay,
tubular.
yeah. If someone, I said it right now. No one ever says that word. No, I've actually the new slang I picked up in
Yeah.
the last like month is mid.
Ugh.
I know.
That's like recent. That's not like that's like current slang though.
Yeah, I know, because like unlike you listeners of this pod, I'm still cool, hip, and young in my old age. Like
Yeah,
you should see
sure.
me at the skate park dapping up all the not kids but like young adults and
The
they're like,
boys.
and they're all like, "Yo, Derek, how old are you?" And I'm like, "Old enough to dap you up, boy."
Do you know? Do you want to
Mid.
know something that you do use that I found like very endearing when when we started conversing?
What?
This to me, like, as when we first started, like just even like chatting to each other, like when you used to come into the bar and we would like chat, right? You said this and I thought it was like so North American, because this wasn't very long after I moved here either, and I was like, oh, this dude's just like so North American right now when he's saying this.
What?
And it was like a novelty for me, and I've now picked it up. You say chicks and dudes,
Oh yeah,
And I
do
love
say
that.
chicks and dudes all the time. I know. And my mom was always
love
like,
that.
"Don't call them chicks," and I'm like,
Yeah, and that's such a stupid thing because like why it's just related to it's like it's nothing. It's a nothing.
if you're offended by being called a chick or a dude, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But I just like, okay,
But I always really I just like that. I thought it's cool, and now I
whatever.
call
Chick.
people chicks and dudes.
That chick looks like a dude. Or that dude looks like a chick.
And then it's so funny because you'd be like, oh, don't say that, like that's like offensive or derogatory, and it's like, why? Like,
Yeah.
why would anyone think that's like, I don't know. It just, and I just thought it was awesome that you said that, and now I've picked it up.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Chick.
Chick.
Dude.
Did.
Okay, this is actually super cool.
Yeah.
I think out of all the things I've talked about today, actually I'm not gonna lie, the thing I opened with was pretty cool, I thought. But this is probably the actual coolest one.
Okay.
So Egypt, the country,
Yeah.
pyramids.
Yeah.
Is everyone with me still? Yeah.
Lots of sand.
Lots of sand. More sand than you could ever imagine. The Sahara Desert. In between your legs. Egypt. Okay, so Egypt, they plan to flood the middle of the country. So the country, 4% of the country holds 113 million people. Egypt is the same size as Switzerland, okay? And Switzerland only has 11 million people in it. So
Jeez, okay.
just think of that alone. Just so 4% of Switzerland holds 114 million people because it's all along the Nile, basically, right? Or the Tigris, or was it the Nile and the Euphrates? No, Tigris and the Euphrates. What's the Nile? The Nile and the. Is it just the Nile in Egypt? Because I thought
like
it split.
the main one.
Yeah, and then it splits, doesn't it?
I have no idea.
Anyhow, obviously the only place to live is along the river, basically, because everything else is barren.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is, I don't know the name. Gather Depression. I don't know if it's the Gather Depression or the Gather because it's in Africa or it's in Egypt there.
Yeah.
But anyhow, basically it's a massive like former lake from like God knows when.
Right.
And they're digging a 55-kilometer canal from the Mediterranean Sea to where this big, huge basin is.
Yeah.
And the reason they're doing this is they're hoping that once the water sits there in pools and becomes a lake, it'll evaporate, make rain, and then make the land inevitably fertile and habitable because it's got all this rain and like actual like.
Right.
So,
I mean, that's smart. Yeah.
It's so crazy. And then for people that don't know their geography or haven't really looked at the geography, the Suez Canal, if you look at that's basically so you don't have to go around the Horn of South Africa, right? To do all your shipping. It's such a crazy man-made, like you can see it's like everything you look at on the planet, it's all like kind of flows, and then there's just this straight cut through, right? And it's just super cool to see that you have that happening, the Suez Canal, and now they've basically like used that same idea, but they're going to use the water from the Med. And
that's so crazy.
Oh, it's so cool. I think that's amazing. And
yeah, I think that's awesome.
And but it's another thing to go along with like how the climate's changing. If they all of a sudden start producing, if there's a giant lake and it starts producing rainwater, that also is going to change the climate. And I'm not saying that in a negative, like the rest of the climate change stuff. It's just, it will inevitably shift how the climate moves, right?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. So
that's really
crazy.
cool, actually.
Yeah. I don't know, that to me, it weirds me out hearing about them like terraforming the deserts to make them green again. Not when I say weird, maybe it's the wrong word, because it's just so foreign, that idea of you're like, we're gonna turn the desert back into green. That's so crazy. Yeah,
it is. It's nuts. But you like, we have the ability to do that now. So why not work it in people's favor?
Yeah, and I really feel like that's huge for Egypt because like just hearing that alone, 113 million people and along basically a river, like that's nuts.
It's crazy. It's awesome to see though.
Absolutely.
Like, and in fact, like by the river, like all along the Nile, everywhere I went in Egypt was so luscious, like so green.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was like hot, like friggin' hot and dry, but there was a ton of greenery and like farming and stuff going on around there. So it's interesting to see. And then if they can replicate that like further into the country, that's going to be awesome for them.
So you saw the Nile?
Yeah.
Was it like chill little river, or is it like huge, like you can barely see it?
No, it's a canal. Like it's a fairly wide canal. We were on a little
swim across it, or would it take like
no,
too long? No.
Okay, you couldn't swim across it. It's like it's bigger than the inlet. Oh,
it's huge.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm picturing it. It's like you jump in and swim and like take 10 strokes and you're across the.
I did a 5-night river cruise on the Nile. I was on a like cruise boat, not like a huge one like you see in the inlet.
Yeah.
But like a little, I don't know, like 100-passenger boat or something.
Do you think if you took a little baby, say Moses sized, put him in a wicker basket and threw him in the Nile, that he could go down river, eventually go become a king of Egypt and lead the Israelites out of Egypt? Do you think that's possible?
I think it would be lucky, but that's probably why he was a prophet.
See, when I hear these kind of stories, I just instantly snap to reality of being there, and I'm like, so you're telling me a little baby in a basket went down the river?
Have you seen Ice Age?
Yes.
That little baby, his mom jumped off a waterfall, and he survived it and was taken in by a mammoth, a sloth, and a saber-toothed tiger. So if that can happen, I think Moses could happen too.
It's not that I don't think Moses happened. I just think that he might have not been a baby, but a man in a wicker basket. I'm not questioning Moses.
He might have been swimming. They have crocodiles in there too.
Crocodiles or crocodiles?
They call them Nile crocs.
Oh, really?
No. I don't know what they call them.
Hey, Neve.
Yes.
I just remembered. We have 2 sponsors, unofficial sponsors of the show. And if we don't get to the second, we don't get paid. Let's go to our sponsor.
Do you constantly feel like you have no energy and are not good enough? Is Ronnie's Steakhouse the only place you find comfort? When people ask you what you're doing to look so good, do you wake up from a dream every time? Well, it's time for a change. Ditch the fast food and pity for a glass of AG1 Athletic Greens. All the nutrition, none of the bullshit.
Oh, man. That was an awesome ad. Ever since I've got Athletic Greens in my life, it's been the best thing since sliced toast.
Sliced bread was good, but then you could toast it.
What if you made a knife that as you cut it toasted the bread?
I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
No way. What,
yeah.
Star Wars?
Oh, it might be Star Wars.
Wait, are we talking about Star Wars?
I think there's like a spoof of something where they have a knife that toasts the bread as you cut it.
If the day that exists, we should stop inventing. We're like, hey, we did it. We're done. We got a knife that makes toast. We finally made
something better than sliced bread.
Sliced bread. Because let's be real here. After you're done slicing a piece of bread, you're exhausted. You don't want to toast it.
Wait, let's just take a little throwback right now to the beginning of the pod. Best thing since sliced bread. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah. Well,
like, were people just eating with like loaves before? Like,
no, because
I can't slice my bread.
Yeah, no, like, what do we do? Yeah,
two loaves of bread.
Well, isn't that actually what happened? Was they started like making like grocery stores started like pre-slicing the bread, and people were like, "How the fuck did we do anything before this?" Like, someone's like, Hey Tony, you got to invest in stocks. She's like, I can't, Carl. I'm slicing bread.
Slicing bread.
God damn it.
Waste all my time slicing this damn bread.
No time for the future. I gotta be in the present, Carl. Yeah, well, yeah, that's another one. That is a good one.
Anyway, sliced bread is great.
Okay, so this is I don't know. This one might creep you out a bit.
Okay.
So I don't know. People might have heard this before. So have you heard of the idea of like they're talking about you can like bring people back in the future because you'll be able to like from all the like videos and images and voice recordings you have of them. Okay, so as of 50 episodes in, so I guess 51 now, each episode's about an hour to an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
I've been on all 50. You've been on over half of them. I want to say you're close to 28. No, maybe even more close to 30. So, or I don't know. Anyhow, you've been on over at least half of them, right? I feel like in the future, it is possible now just via our voice recordings to come back to life.
I mean, not really. I don't, like, you'll never come back to life. You can have your voice generated, but that's not you. Like, I don't know. I didn't like this from way back when they did the Star Wars with Carrie Fisher after she died. I, like, it was, because it was especially because I was studying film at the time, it was quite a big controversy of like whether you should use someone's likeness in terms of creating a whole nother them after they've died.
Isn't that Bruce Willis? That's the issue. He like had some mental illness or like brain degeneration. He signed some paperwork before he was gone, but now people argue he's gone, and now they just CGI him everywhere.
I don't know about Bruce Willis. I can't comment on that. But back when they did the whole Carrie Fisher thing, I was like, this is like, I don't know. It takes away the integrity of the person for me, because like you don't get to say how you're portrayed in the future, and all you are someone's memory of you.
Now,
it's not you.
Yeah, okay, well, it's interesting you say that, because, okay, so my first question, this is, like, kind of, that leads into what I was going to ask out of it. So, here's what I said. If you bring someone back to life with voice and video clips, which supposedly we're living in the future where this can happen, and supposedly this is a thing. They do think in the future, like, for example, let's use Joe Rogan. He has like thousands and thousands of hours of podcast videos, like everything. They think that they'll have, like they say, like he'll have enough data that you could, in essence, not literally bring him back, but because you've captured so much of him, you could get such a good picture of who he is that you could like make him.
Yeah.
Right? So let's use Joe Rogan. He's the perfect example. Let's just say he's the most heard voice. Let's just pretend for this example. So you've brought him back via voice, video clips, heavy AI analysis that amalgamates it to make this.
Yeah.
Are they actually the same person, or is it the same person?
No.
No. Okay.
There's just like straight up no, because there are parts of like you as a person, as a like a complex machine that AI can't see.
Okay, what if
like your thought patterns, your like the way that you think and the way that you perceive and the way that you feel, like you can't replicate that.
Okay, what if we add a third part to this equation? So it's not just clips of things that the way you think and all that and your mannerisms. You also have physical DNA. So when they're building you actually have like genuine physical DNA. Maybe it's a hair, maybe it's something, but it's like true genetic makeup. Do you think then all of a sudden that changes things?
Well, that's just like a clone, right?
Right. So I'm asking you, so
I don't know, like I don't know where DNA stands in terms of, like, it depends. Like, do you have all the same memories? Like, your experiences are who you are.
Yeah. See,
so like I'm like, yeah, like take my physical DNA and you put that inside something, and then they don't have the same experiences that I've had, that wouldn't be me.
Yeah, see,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I don't know. I don't have like a. I'm just in a gray area of
Yeah.
Like, I agree with what you said.
I mean, this
But-
is a whole Black Mirror episode.
I didn't know it was.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so there's like this Black Mirror episode where this chick loses her husband in a car crash, and then it's at a time where everyone has these like chip implants or something, and they make her like a AI him.
Yeah.
And she gets super conflicted because she's like, there's an emotional attachment because it looks like him and it acts like an off version of him, but like still like enough that's familiar. But there's also points where like it can't compute because it hasn't had the same experiences, it hasn't like been that person. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So like what I'm about to say, I have just more thoughts and feelings than any absolutes in terms of what I think.
Yeah.
Like it's just so like on one hand, I just fully believe like if you have hundreds of thousands of hours of things and you catch people's mannerisms and all that, and you can really duplicate the way they sound and think, I don't really think that makes a person. It doesn't, because like then that's just basically saying all we are is literally like data computer things, right? I don't believe that. But then as soon as you add DNA to the equation, I strongly believe that our tissues, our genetic tissues, so like our DNA down to like the RNA strands when the helix unwinds, all the way up to like our actual like muscular tissue, I think the cells hold memory. To the extent of like for like if you believe in past life progressions or regressions, there's some people that believe they'll remember bizarre things about who their past life was, and there's no understanding for it. They're like, you're a little kid, or you're like, why would you're some German dude and you think you were like some I don't know, like what's it called, like South American tribesman, and there's no explanation for it really. But they like so like deeply feel that. And I don't know if I believe that, but I do know for a fact through my work that your body holds trauma and memories, and you can trigger them, and the trigger isn't always a word. It can be a word or stuff, but like I've been massaging people, and they'll have like a literal breakdown into tears, and these are like I don't know how to explain it. It's not like a breakdown like someone's like, it's like a like out of body experience weird thing, and they act really weird, and you're like kind of like, what's going on? And then sometimes they don't say because they're acting weird, like they don't really know. But a lot of the time it turns out it's like it triggered something in them that made them feel or think a certain way. So as soon as you bring DNA into the equation, it kind of makes me go, oh, maybe it's possible.
I understand what you're saying in that DNA holds memory, and I completely agree with that. But what is that one hair strand of DNA holding? Probably not a whole fucking lot. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I'm pretty sure one strand of hair is all you need to, in theory, like genetically clone a person.
No, I know. But the point I'm saying is, like, for you as a person, if I were to cut one hair off your head, are you gonna have a breakdown? No.
Right.
So, do you know what I mean? Like I pluck my eyebrows. I'm taking hair.
No. But I'm not that. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's not that. That's not what so you're using it. What you're thinking of is too much of like a physical thing causing a reaction.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is your DNA can hold memory. And
Yeah.
then my example was what I was saying was like I massage people and they react,
No,
right?
I know.
So by having your DNA, just that I feel like could cause you to have memory.
I agree with you, but I still don't think it's enough of a memory to make a person a person.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. Like I agree with you that DNA holds memory, and I agree with everything you're saying, but I don't believe there's enough of what makes a person in like emotionally fully a person in that one strand of hair.
Okay, what about a skin cell? No. Still
It depends. Well, it depends, right? Because like
What
you
about
said,
a
like
brain
different parts of your body can hold different, like trigger different things, have different memories. So like, what if you get a skin cell and this person's never had like experiences related to that skin cell, but they've had other experiences that maybe would have been held in the hair. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but no,
Like
but
you,
see,
it's
but
not enough to get a full round, like spherical picture of what makes someone human.
okay,
Did you get what I mean?
I get exactly what you mean, but the last thing I'll say, because like I said, I'm not like dying on the hill of this. It's just more thoughts. The last thing I'll say is I feel like you're getting too caught up in the idea of like the skin cell holding a different memory than the hair cell, but really it's like when you get down to like a DNA level, it's like the chemistry of like, or not the chemistry, it's like it is chemistry.
Biology of it.
I think DNA is chemistry at that
DNA's
because I'm pretty sure it's like here. Let's just look
like
this
chemical reactions within the DNA.
Is
Because
DNA chemistry?
I just like I no, I don't think
DNA is biology molecule, so it's more closely related to biology than chemistry. There you go.
Okay.
So you're right. Anyhow, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it because, like I said, I don't have too much skin in what I believe. I was just kind of thoughts.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah. Anyhow, would
yeah,
you,
it's
if okay, with that, let's pretend we via our podcast 51 episodes, and then we die, and there's a chance you can come back. Would you?
Nope.
Okay, well, that's a little telling. Yeah, I don't think I would either because I genuinely think that if you put your brain into like a computer, you lose your soul, and then that's like
I think
hell.
that's the same. I mean, not completely the same idea as I was trying to get at, but like that's what I mean when it like you won't be you because you won't have that part of you inside you. You know what I mean? And that's the point I was trying to make was that like, yeah, you can take all the DNA and whatever, but you won't be you because you don't have that like I don't know if I believe in souls.
Yeah.
But I do believe that there are so many unique factors that make a human being like just purely in your mind that I guess that would be my version of a soul, like what I would constitute as that.
Yeah, I mean, I fully strongly like I have something deep down burning inside of me that is a soul. Like I just know it, so I don't really care what anyone thinks. I know there's one. There's just like there's just something inside me that's just like it's too undeniable for me not to believe in soul. Not that I care what you think.
That's fair.
But I do also feel like what you kind of said, like if you do, like when I wrote this down, if you do duplicate yourself over and over, no matter how much you can go into the future and you're 1,000 years and Derek Shirk still exists and he talks and speaks like this.
Yeah.
By duplicating me after I've died, this copy of me and the rest going on, they don't have a soul. They don't.
Yeah.
They just don't. They're cells that make up you and their memories that are like data, but it's not Derek Shirk the being.
Yeah.
It's just a collection.
That's exactly the same thing I think we just have like maybe what I'm talking about when I say like the interconnecting things in your brain, maybe that is a soul, but mine just like feels different to yours. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that we're talking about the exact same thing. Like that it maybe what makes your soul is those experiences you have and nurture versus nature, and you know, like every little individual thought you have is what builds you up into who you are. So that I guess is my version of a soul, which I think is the same thing,
Spirit.
just like different.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm the only thing I can't really get behind is someone that doesn't believe in anything. Because I think that it's, first off, a pointless way to be.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, so wait, you don't believe anything? And usually people that don't believe in anything don't really have a reason for why they believe in anything. I can respect if you, like, I've met some people that have actually, like, explained why they think there's nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But a lot of the time people are like, I don't know. And it's just kind of lazy answer of, like, I just don't think there's anything. And I'm like,
Yeah, I think honestly the only difference is people that put thought into it and people that don't.
yeah.
Because I've been through like stages of my life where I put a lot of thought into it, and then I've been in stages where I just like don't even want to think about it. You know what I mean? So it just I think it kind of reflects who you are at that point in time.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I always love talking about this stuff, to be honest. It's like one of my favorite things
I think
to talk
it's
about.
really, really interesting because everyone, or like not everyone, obviously there's groups of people and whatever, but like it's really interesting to hear other people's opinions of what it is as well.
So I think this is like, I don't believe in religions like I believe in a God. I believe in there's like a higher being that controls everything, but I think that is the universe. I don't think it's like an individual thing that like impacts and controls stuff.
Yeah.
But oh gosh, what was I gonna say?
I don't know, but I have a point on this because I've been like thinking about this recently as well. Not a ton, but just like the idea of it. And again, it's in that same frame of what we just talked about of is it me thinking like what I think? Do I just we're thinking the same thing, but we have different names and different ways of describing it?
That's like religion.
Yeah,
Religion,
exactly.
Yeah.
But like that's not a concept I've ever really thought of before, because I've just been like, oh, religion's hooey, like blah blah blah, all of that stuff. Never been like super into religion in general, and I think some religions are actually really detrimental, but there are certain experiences I've had where I'm like, well, if I was religious, I would describe it like this. Like okay, so this is something like that's kind of a little bit private, but also not really, because I'm just about to say it.
All 9 of the people.
But it, like at the time I was like, holy, that's not something I ever like thought about myself like saying or anything. And I was sat, Juliet was at her high chair, and I don't even know what she was doing. She was just like eating or something. But like I just like looked at her and I was like, oh, she's so freaking cute right now. And I said to her, and I was like, I prayed for you. And I said that to her. And I was kind of like taken aback when I said it.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, that's not something I ever really like thought about myself saying. And I didn't mean it in like I got down on my knees and I prayed to God for a little baby girl. But I knew that something in me needed and wished so hard for a baby. Like, just throughout life, like in general. Like, I've always wanted kids. You knew that about me from the first day I met you.
Yeah.
But there was something inside me that was just like I can't wait to be a mom, and I'm always just like hoping for a baby. And she came, so like, and that's the sentiment I was trying to get across when I said that. But it was weird for me because like I viewed it as like a religious thing, and it's like, whoa, like what? It was just interesting to like see that since having her, my brain is kind of like switched on a bit more as to maybe there's like an idea that something is listening to you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that was a pretty.
No, that's awesome. That's amazing to hear that, because you don't like
I don't do religion like
stuff.
at all.
Yeah, I mean, see, this is what I don't get about it is like, first off, I always say, like, for example, sadly, Richard, the acupuncturist I work with, both of his daughters are in children's hospital right now with different illnesses.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna be okay, but he was really down and upset.
Yeah.
Obviously. And I just said to him, and he had to cancel my acupuncture.
Yeah.
And he was like apologizing. He was like, Richard, please, like, dude,
not
it's
even.
not a chance, dude. Just go be with your kids, right? But I said to him, I was like, Richard, like, I just want you to know, like, I'm sending all my good energy and thoughts towards you. And, like, it's probably, I don't know, if depending who you are listening to this, you probably think it's the dumbest thing in the world. But if you are, like, then, like, I truly believe I'm sending, like, all, like, again, like, the same vein as the thing that started this whole podcast. Positivity is a real thing. And if you don't believe it, then that sucks for you. Like, that's just all it is. It sucks for you, and you probably on some level don't have the happiest life. And maybe you're like, fuck you, Derek, I do. Good for you. I hope you don't. But like why wouldn't you do that? If it doesn't exist, then it doesn't matter. But like if it does exist, then you're not helping people you could help.
And
okay, but what I wanted to say, oh my gosh, I just forgot it again, right? As soon as
we just keep getting on tangents. Do you know what? I actually really like every time I come to the podcast with nothing on the table, like I had nothing written down. Yeah. We always have the like craziest conversations. Because we're just like spinning off each other.
Well, and I think too, sometimes if you have too many things, like you'll like say them and then you're like, all right, what's next on the list? Whereas there's nothing. You're like, so we just gotta keep talking.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay, don't interrupt me because I'm about to. I swear to you, don't you interrupt me. All right. Oh no, good to see you. Hello.
Derek, seriously.
Oh wait, I can't remember what I was doing. Okay, so this is my one of my actual biggest beliefs about the soul. Yeah. So I think that the major religions, I think they all speak to the same truth of like, there's like this almighty being stuff, but I think there's like, I don't know, a lot of humanistic things that happen with religion, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get too much into that. But one thing I strongly believe in, as we've said, is the soul. And I think in the near future, this whole like talk of like Antichrist and stuff, and I know people probably don't know all the biblical prophecies, but like people have heard of Antichrist, and Antichrist is basically like the devil, the anti-God, right? I strongly have a feeling that the world we're going into with all this tech, and specifically like things like all these like computers that you wear, like the VR stuff, and then Elon Musk Neuralink is just the start of being linked because right now Neuralink is they have satellites or something, they can link you to the internet and you're connected, but it's all just 100% to do with like if your spinal cord severed, they can skip the severance and continue the signal so people can work like severed limbs. Okay, so it's amazing, like it's amazing, but it's just the first step to like us being linked up to the internet. And I believe that if you link up to the internet with your brain like that, you become part of the singularity, and I think that might be where you lose your soul and like this whole idea of heaven and hell. And I think that's where it comes from. And so that's why I strongly recommend to people don't link yourselves to the internet via brain chips if that comes out. Yeah.
Just a PSA, don't do that.
Just a PSA from your local neighborhood Spider-Man, Derek Shirk. Do you want to get on to our people of the week and all that stuff? No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, you don't want to.
No, I just I don't like person of the week.
I know how you don't. That's why I like to start with you. Okay, do you want me to go first, or would you like to go first? Your last week, yours was your bosses.
Yeah.
And mine was Matt Donahoe.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck. You go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I gotta think of someone.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well I'm gonna go with my person of the week is Dax Bastillo.
Good person of the week.
Love Dax, great
I was
dude.
actually just thinking of doing Dax.
Yeah, well I jacked him up because I mean Dax is my co-host on 3 Person Circle. He's my best friend. We do so much together. I haven't seen him as much lately just because life's been crazy, and I'm super excited for his wedding. We're going to
yeah, I'm stoked.
Do you pronounce it
Hawaii? It's 2 weeks tomorrow.
Or 2 weeks, Dax, tomorrow. I mean, let's Dax, you are extremely intelligent, you're extremely hardworking. You're super kind and outgoing. You're extremely passionate about everything you do, and I think that you're just you do things that are nice for people that are like obvious things, but I think it's just kind of like your overall being is one of just a loving person, and I love you very much. And yeah, you're my person of the week, Dax.
Shout out to Dax.
Woo. Woo.
Love you, Dax.
Love you, Dax.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Wait, one last thing before you do. And the reason 3-person circle hasn't been happening in the last few weeks is more so on my part because I've been ill.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, I've got people.
Oh.
And it's my parents.
Oh.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Simmons.
Simmons.
Julian Dorian.
Julian Dorian.
My dad is gonna kill me if he finds out I said this on
oh yeah, he won't listen to this. Who are we kidding?
Sims. I think you get a newfound respect for your parents when you become parents. And I feel like I'm just very fortunate that I grew up super close to my parents, and they've always supported me 100% in everything I do and just wanted me to always kind of succeed and thrive. And yeah, they dealt with a lot of crap when I was younger. Literally and figuratively, yeah. They were just absolute rocks for me growing up. And now I just think it's really awesome that I get to see them be grandparents as well. Yeah. And yeah, just got a lot of love from mom and dad.
Sweet. Yeah, we love you, Julie and Sim.
Yeah.
I mean, Dorian, pardon. I call him Sim. Right on. And what about the buy and sells of the week? Last week, my buy was Juliet walking to the aquarium, and yours was Dax and Sarah's ceremony. Mine this week is Juliet reading a book after seeing me read.
Yeah, that was super
that was
cute.
a given one. I was so proud of that.
My buy of the week is Infusion.
Oh, yeah.
That was a hell of a buy.
That was a clutch infusion.
Yeah. It was needed. I also got home from my infusion and slept for so long.
You did.
Just because it takes it out of you so hard. But then today, I had it yesterday, and now I feel like
you're like way
10 million
different.
bucks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, shout out to the infusion.
Yeah.
My sell of last week was Nuo's obesity. And it's funny because I was trying to think of one just now before I read that, and I was going to say dog obesity, but I guess I already used that one up.
Yeah, you kind of did that.
And then yours was the Stanley Park parking.
Oh, that was my sell? Yeah. It's fucking Stanley Park parking. Sucks. I got a ticket in Stanley Park once, and I was the only person in the car park, and I paid for parking. Do you want to know why they ticketed me? Because I parked over the line. What? I was the only person in the car park.
What a dick.
And I parked. It was during COVID as well. I was like, is when I had that old Nissan Murano. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I was like, I paid for parking. Was over the line. I was like, some guy was having a real bad day.
All right. So what's your sell of the week?
My sell of the week would be...
Mine's going to be nagging injuries. I have a whole bunch of just freaking nothing serious. Just, actually, you know what? No. No. My sell of the week is when you sleep funny and you wake up with a kink neck, and it's like 4 days later and you're just starting to get it better. And at no point did I actually hurt myself, but I was super stiff in a lot of pain.
Yeah,
and
you were.
Oh, it sucked. I literally for one day couldn't look over my shoulder.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. So yeah,
you were suffering with your neck there for a hot minute. My sell of the week. Probably just the like 2 or 3 blackout days I had before my infusion.
Yeah.
I don't really remember a lot of what happened, but I feel like I was probably moody, and I feel like I probably slept a lot. In fact, I think I did. I think I was in bed by like 8.
Both those things are spot on.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
Okay, this is actually in the vein of, again, trying to be more positive. I kind of want to leave on this note.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is, it might, I don't know, this might be a little heavy for some people, but, so one thing, I don't know if anyone listening to this has ever lost anyone close to them. And I'm excluding grandparents unless they were like your parents. I'm like referring to like people like, for example, like my dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Like someone like really, really close that you lost. I've spoken to quite a few people that have lost in that way. And I don't know if it's it's for sure North American culture. I think other cultures are better, but I can't like speak cause I'm not there, but we don't deal with death at all here. It's quite frankly, like people will die. And people act awkward, say sorry, and then you're just kind of like, I don't want to say like literally ignored, but kind of like you just like put on the back burner, like, oh, that sucks, until you're just expected to just stop talking about it and get over it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right. I think it's wrong. I think it's I think it's actually like a huge hindrance to just people here in general. It's not when I say cultural, I don't mean like whites to Asians. I mean like North American people living in North America, regardless of where you came from. It just kind of seems to be that's where it is. So I think I'm going to host a segment called Praise the Dead to Raise the Dead. And was it Praise the Dead to Raise the Dead or Praise the Dead to Raise the Dead Up? I can't remember what it was. Yeah, it's just to raise the dead. And what I want it to be about is someone that's passed away that means a lot to you. And I think I'll do the first one about my dad. And I think it's just going to be talking about people that have left your life that are important to you. Yeah. Because it's just good to do that. And it's just kind of something I think would be, again, like something positive and good, as opposed to like just... I don't know. I think anyone that's like actually maybe lost someone close would kind of relate to the idea of like it might be nice to like praise them a bit. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and yeah.
I mean, like I think that's a great idea. I can't really say because I haven't experienced that. So I don't know if it's like. For me, I don't understand it, basically. Yeah. But I think it's good to talk through any emotions that you have about someone that are not unresolved, but just like kind of, you know, things that you didn't get to tell them in their lives and that you know, you wish you could, or whatever. It's just good to have like a way to do that. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, because like I don't know, I like fortunately through like my work I get to kind of be in like a space that I don't think many people get to be in with other people.
Yeah. It's a different level of comfort.
It's a different like it's just a different space. It's like this like it's and that's kind of what I perceived through a lot is like I don't know. I think that here, North America, the way it's laid out is we're kind of fucked. Like, and I don't mean that in a way like we're screwed. I mean it like it seems like a lot of what the world's cultures had whenever everything came here and like America and Canada came to be as they were. Yeah. it like we like zapped a lot of like the spiritual, like that kind of side of it all.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like I guess maybe it's just for me, but I think that I'm hoping that maybe it would resonate with people, and then via that you could get people, like what I'd want is I think it'd be cool to come on and someone can talk about someone they lost.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be sad. Like I'm sure it'd be sad because they're telling these stories, but it should be like a celebration of them.
I fully believe that. Like I know people that have lost people very close to them, and there's no kind of, like, you can talk to your friends and stuff, but there's no real like outlet for it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I feel like that would definitely be a nice thing, and it's nice to, even though it's a sad subject, it's good to remember those good times that you had in your life with that person as well.
Yeah, and see, like, it is, like, I agree it is sad, but I don't think it should be.
No.
Like I think ancient cultures, like, they were stoked to die. Not literally like, yo, kill me.
Oh, well,
but
yeah,
like,
they thought they were going
right?
to go get 50 virgins.
Yeah, well... Wait, what's that?
Wait, what's that now?
Sorry, what's that one again?
Slit my wrist and call me Sally.
Anyhow,
Sorry,
if you heard that last segment and you would like to come speak to someone that's passed you, I think that'd be cool. Reach out to me. We can make that happen. You got anything else you want to say?
No, I think that's a good ender.
Beat hate with petty crime.
With great.
Oh.
Wait,
Wait.
that sounds a bit.
No,
white
don't
supremacy.
do petty crime. Don't do petty crime.
Don't steal that $10 from your mom.
Defeat hate.
Do that.
See everybody.
Okay, bye.